Here we go. Oh, shoot. I should have changed the name. Crap. It just says Hucalo's thing. I'll change it. I could change it. I mean, mute YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, now everyone gets to hear me say that. It picks up from the moment you've started talking, not when it says it's live. So.
Okay.
Where did Dawn go? We lost Dawn.
I'm still here. I'm just on my other screen working away. I just wanted to, just so you don't see inside my ear.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to give people a chance to. There's people are popping in, so I just want to give them a chance to come in the YouTube. Come in the YouTube.
Okay, I have to loop YouTube up and running as well.
To sit up straight. Okay.
Your light on your light watch looks good now.
Oh, thank you. I'm awfully low, but I don't care.
Yeah. Can you?
Aren't I am low, right? I'm
Yes,
low.
Yes. We have half the.
We can see your. We can see the top of your chin.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
I need to be higher, but I can fix it now. So.
Oh, it's fine. Get a few pillows. Just
elevate your chair.
Huh?
Elevate your chair.
It won't go any higher.
Oh.
If you sit on a box.
I have to lower my computer, but because my computer's up high so that I have a good screen. So I'm just going to be lower today. This isn't about me. It's about Lou Martin. Coming to us live from Cork, Ireland.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see how many people are there now. 6 are watching. Hi, 6 people that are watching. I think 2 of them are me and Dawn. All right. There's Dramatic. Hi. Dramatic is from Copenhagen.
Okay.
Yeah. Wonderful. There's a song about Copenhagen, you know?
Yes, I've heard it. I've been to Copenhagen and I've heard the song.
Yeah, Copenhagen, that's right.
Yes.
I'm going to fly when I go to India. I'm going to fly through Copenhagen.
Excellent.
On Scandinavian Airlines. So
SAS.
come see me at the airport.
Sounds great.
February 11th, please come see me.
Good. If you're flying into Cork, that'll be easy.
Cork?
I'm joking.
No, Copenhagen via Cork.
Yeah.
Does Cork fly direct places or not? Or do you always have to fly to Dublin?
No, it does. It does fly direct. Yeah. It goes to Stansted quite nicely, which is handy for me and Joanne. Yeah. But yeah, it goes to other places in Europe. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Oh, we've got Chris there, Lee Dwyer. Nice. People just in the chat. Okay. Coming to you live with a very low chair. I cracked myself up. Oh, there's Reinhard. Hi, Reinhard. Okay. Are you finished eating? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm all set.
All right, awesome. I'm trying to fix this view really quick. Okay. So it should switch. Can you say something, Lou, real quick?
Hi, welcome.
Okay, great. Okay, I just wanted to see if it switched back and forth.
Yeah.
No, okay. Okay, here we go. Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Newman. This is a Saturday Human Colony Hucalo webinar. It is Saturday, the 31st of August. Summer's over. Can you imagine? So I didn't have a summer, but I'm trusting that it really did happen for a lot of people. So welcome to the Hucalo webinar. Today, our special guest is Lou Martin. Hi, Lou.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Great to be here with you. Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm really bothering me. I need to be higher. I'm going to be higher now.
There, that's better.
There we go.
Yeah. Now we can see you.
Yeah, I was hiding under my desk. I'm doing the webinar from live under the table.
Okay.
Yeah, so we wanted to have you back because you're always such a nice, it's always nice to talk to you. And you and I have been having some, I would say, some interesting conversations over the months and everything. And one of my fascinations, that the thing that I don't know enough about, and you seem to be really up on, though I'm looking at it, is all the energies that are out there and everything that's going on. And there was this very special sort of chain of energy switches from starting in July, correct?
Yeah, what's called the rising of Sirius, and Sirius is, according to my teachers, the most powerful spiritual energy in this universe, and this is what they call the gateway of the goddess. And from July 23rd to September 15th, for 55 days, Sirius has its greatest influence on the earth and on humanity during the year. A lot of the pyramids and sacred sites of the planet are connected to Sirius. I'm not as nearly up on those things as I would like to be. But basically, we had what's called the Lion's Gate, which was 8/8, and that was kind of the peak of the higher self, goddess, Sirian energies pouring onto the earth. And so this last few months, July and August, have been a huge acceleration in spiritual energies for empaths and intuitives and light workers and starseeds and people that are sensitive to these things.
Right. And then there was just a big full moon as well.
Oh, well, we just had a new moon yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. But there was a full moon on the 15th.
The full moon on the 15th, that's right, in Virgo, and the next full moon is in Pisces. And right now we have 5 planets in Virgo. So it's a very big time of grounding, refining, purifying, being disciplined and devoted. Kind of the energies of the next few months, September is still, we're kind of like laying the seeds. And then once October and November come in, then a lot of what we've been planting the seeds for will start bearing fruit. But it's been a time of purification and healing the shadow and letting go of habits and ideas and relationships and old held beliefs that no longer serve. And to me, honestly, it's been the first time that the word ascension started to become something literal and visceral and not just theoretic and intellectual. Definitely a huge shift in the energies as I perceive them in my own life.
Yeah, my birthday's in October, and they always say a month before your birthday, there's also like big energy shifts.
Sure.
So to see how that's going to roll out for me.
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, my birthday is in 2 weeks, so I'm in the same window.
When's your birthday?
The 13th of September, which is on a Friday this year, which is the day I was born. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed in that sort of, because you're now, less than a month before your birthday, but have you felt that sort of pre-birthday energy?
Yeah. It's like your soul really turns up the juice and says, what do you need to change and what do you want to keep? And it's really, it's kind of like being in finals, where you just really, I've been meditating a lot and doing my inner work a lot. I have a lovely new relationship in my life, as I've shared with you, and she's on the same wavelength. So we've been doing a lot of work together and supporting each other. So it's been very, very nice in that way. But definitely the summer has been intense for most people.
Yeah, and then there's one more planet. There's a planet that has to still go direct. Saturn goes direct on the 15th of the month, I think.
Yes, that sounds...
Is that that's the last of the retrograde planets? Is that correct? Because there was 5 planets in retrograde at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be Saturn. It might be Neptune also that goes direct on the 15th.
All right.
I'm kind of swimming in all the astrology. I'm not an astrologer, but I'd like to study it because it does give us a good map. But the real excitement that I want to talk about today, as well as the Sirian energies, are astrologically is the Pluto conjunct Saturn, which comes into being in 2020 in January.
Okay.
And yeah, and the astrologers are saying that this is really going to be when we begin to see the death of the old ways, the patriarchy, corruption, deception, dishonesty, these kinds of energies, and the birth of the new: integrity, honesty, responsibility, and much more holistic, spiritual, emotional, feminine, life-affirming energies begin to really take more influence in the world, be more a focus.
Do you know when that is in January?
I think it's the 15th of January, thereabouts, the 19th, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, about the time.
Well, yeah, it's been, of course, I mean, it's been thousands of years. Everyone who's on a spiritual path in this lifetime, I believe, is, for the most part, an old soul that, Spirit said, we'd like you to come back for this big event, and it will be of benefit for you to become enlightened and awaken spiritually, and to help other people learn how to do the same. So it's really, there's a whole new wave of energy that's begun in this year.
Yeah, I know in January, no, I think it's February, like a month after that, you've got the Navaratri or the Shivaratri, which is the big Shiva festival where people stay up all night, and it's also a big shifting of the moon and a lot of energies from the old, the year coming in, and there's a lot of stuff happening then. So
Right.
So how will that? So what do you think that will mean? What is it? What will the manifestation of that be?
Well, so that's everything is done unto us as we believe, and astrology doesn't dictate; it influences.
Right.
So the work for all of us is to wake up and to stay awake. Yeah. And as you and I have talked about, and we're creating some projects to bring more of these ideas out to people. It's we're really being pushed, by spirits to step into our power, and and to be leaders at this time to the best of our ability, and to inspire and to empower people. So, there's kind of like people who have some idea of what's happening, like you and I and others here on this program, and then there's others that don't have any idea or don't believe that this could happen, and so it's going to be kind of like a teeter-totter, I think, for a while, with people like resisting and accepting and doubting and trusting, that we all go through every day of our lives on planet Earth, myself included. But if we meditate, pray, keep a journal, and do things that are of loving service to our fellow human beings and Mother Earth, then we're working with our spiritual resources, and we're available for Spirit to help us and to work through us. But if we're trapped in the past, in terms of the old paradigm, or trapped in our own personal past in terms of fears and judgments and doubts and regrets, addictions, obsessions, etc., that's where things are going to have to unravel in order for us to see more clearly.
Yeah, we also talked about, you and I, because there's always that thing Bashar talked about, the splitting of the worlds,
right,
and everything, and that's also really now happening big time.
Well, it's just beginning. You see, that's what I believe.
But I mean, it's really actually now happening, as opposed to
Yes. In the Mayan calendar, the new cycle that you and I were talking about, July 26th, was the beginning of a new 13 moon cycle, 13-year cycle, and 13,000-year cycle. Mm-hmm. So the 13,000-year cycle is the return of the divine feminine, the sacred feminine. Yeah. The goddess.
Right.
Yeah. So my guides say the masculine is the mind and the body, because it's fixed and static and obvious. Mm-hmm. And it's about focus. The feminine is the emotion and the spirit, because it's subtle and hidden and always changing and always moving and always responding. And so, we have to really begin to understand these parts of ourselves and begin to bring them together. So most of the world, most of the time, is in the illusion of things and in our heads and in the appearance of things. And that's fine, but that's not where reality is really beginning to come from now. It's beginning to come more from the inside out, from our vibration, our emotion, the things that Abraham and others are teaching us about. So, you know, we need to learn how to live from the inside out, not just the outside in.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, it's like we say we have to do it, but it does. It's not you. It's the kind of thing like you can't say, okay, I'm going to start living from the end. You know what I mean? Like the only thing you can do is like from each moment make new choices, and
that's right.
It's not always, you know, it's not just a
flip of the switch.
Flip the switch. Every time you have a new situation, a new choice, every time you take a new breath, you have that opportunity to do it differently, to walk a little differently. And so I think also too, maybe the things that are coming up, I think we saw that during that last Mercury retrograde week. There was a lot of tempers flying during that week, a lot of surprise tempers that you don't expect, and that stuff coming up and thinking, whoa, what's happening here? But you don't know it until it comes up, right? So I think more and more and more of that will just continue to come to the surface.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. Of course, that's what meditation and making having a connection to our inner self, you know, is meant to help us to be aware of, to become conscious of, you know, to feel things before they happen, to sense things before they occur, to know something without having to figure it out, just trusting it, knowing it, these kinds of things.
Yeah. So for you, because you've been doing a lot of work you work a lot with women, right?
Yeah.
A lot with women. So what for you in light of all of this has really been active right now?
Well, this continues to be the theme that you know, women are reaching for their voices and reaching for taking their power back. And you know, so I say again, the rule book that we've grown up in under the patriarchy has been that women are allowed to be sad but can't be angry, and men are allowed to be angry but can't be sad. So when I get to work with women and support them in being in touch with their anger, then they're able to find that fire, that passion, that power inside of themselves. And that is what releases old feelings of hurt and disconnection from self, from not being appreciated by others. So when women allow themselves to do that, I just cheer them on. You know, it's a very personal journey, but when women allow themselves to do that, they come into their confidence again, and they have the courage of their convictions, and they trust their inner guidance. It's the same thing with men. For me as a man working with grief and learning how to soften, open, and deepen my connection to my emotional self and my heart.
Right.
So it's again about trying to come into balance and help people learn to do that. And, you know, like we're saying about the mind and the surface of things, you know, that's not where the creative energies are really coming from. The creative energies are coming from our dreams and our meditations and our daydreams and desires and things like this. But we tend to discount them and disconnect from them and think that they're not important or they're not powerful. But as everything is getting turned on its head, basically, you know, the cup is being emptied, you could say, of old ideas of living in the world, creating space for new ideas to come forward. You know, women and anyone in touch with their intuition, their spirit, their emotions is going to be more powerful in the world, because that's the way the world is beginning to move now. It's moving into those energies more deliberately.
Can you give maybe an example of, like, you say dealing with the energies, but can you give like a specific example from maybe, if it's not too personal, from your own life, of something that you say learned but now have unlearned or are still unlearning?
Sure. Oh yeah. Well, that's easy. I mean, growing up in my family, my dad left when I was 13, and I was the only boy there. So I had my mom and my two younger sisters. And at that time, there was a lot of like assuming that I would know things or know the answer to things or be the man of the family from the age of 13 on. Mm-hmm. He died when I was 17. And the revelation for me was to say, I don't know. And I just want to move that forward 30 years now. And it's like, the more I am able to be extremely honest and vulnerable and open and sincere, the easier it is for me to be able to learn what it is I need to know. What I'm trying to just say, as a man, there's a lot of uncovering, letting go of old masks and old postures and old assumptions and things like this, and really striving to live authentically in the moment and be as honest as I can be. And that's not a natural thing for most men in the world. There's a tremendous sense of protection and holding on to an old idea about authority and power and these kinds of things, which is all being shaken to its core, and it's just the beginning of that. So I just really strive to live that as much as I can from my inner journey.
Does that include like asking for directions if you get lost when you're driving?
Asking for a lot of things, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Saying, I do not know, please help me. Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and that isn't weakness. That isn't weakness. And I guess men have been told they cannot be weak. They're not allowed to be, perceived as weak. Let's say it like that. Not knowing something, if you don't know it, how can you be, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right?
That's right. I mean, sincerely, for men, it's about emotional vulnerability, being willing to really feel and express feelings, to grieve, to cry, to be vulnerable. That is typically thought of as being weak, and women often carry the emotional body of the relationships in their life from the men in their life. So we're both benefiting by living in a more authentic time, and I just feel that whatever has been denied or hidden or covered over, these things are all are beginning to and are going to continue to rise to the surface in our lives and in the world, so that we're not living in an illusion any longer, pretending that something is real when it isn't. And that's going to be extremely humbling for people.
Yeah. I know that in the work that I do, in my psychic work, I deal with a lot of relationships with people, man, female, male, female, partner. And the biggest issue with everybody is just the communication.
Sure.
He doesn't listen, or she doesn't understand me. And there's that aspect of not hearing each other, not understanding each other, but also because maybe if the man is not willing to express his feelings because he feels weak, and the woman, is not allowed to express her discomfort without being told she's a bitch or she's, pushy or nagging. I mean, if you can't say you're angry, and the man can't say he's sad, it's very difficult to have a conversation.
Yes, dear, it's really impossible.
Yeah. And I find also too, and I find that like social media has not aided in people's communication. People talk much more, but they don't listen much more. And when they don't like what someone is saying, they block them.
Sure.
So they say, as long as you are liking everything I'm saying, then I'm going to listen to you. But as soon as you like challenge me or don't like me, they block each other. And then they want to know, why isn't this person trying to communicate? I'm like, well, how would you know if they're trying to communicate with you?
Sure.
So it's an interesting dynamic.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. I mean, I think people feel misunderstood in themselves. And then when that gets exaggerated in relationship, then we tend to retreat, like you're saying. And so, I mean, again, the thing with having a spiritual practice or having a connection to a loving higher power is that you have somewhere to go outside of people, places, things, and situations. That is where most people draw everything in their life. And the more that you're willing and able to look to your inner resources, to your spiritual resources, the more you do get help with your relationships and do get help interacting meaningfully with the world. But this is, as you and I know, this is this is the uncharted country, expressing and exploring alternative ideas of spirituality in the world that has consigned spirituality to religion and has a great war between religions and about religion going on.
Right. True.
Confusing God for religion, which it's not. God has nothing to do with religion. That's all man's creation.
That is very true. So I wanted to pick up something because you have a book.
Yes.
It's called The Invitation.
Yes.
Tell everyone what your book is.
Sure. Well, it's 50 pages, and it's edited transcriptions of different channelings that I've done over the years, and I'm very happy with it. And I've had some lovely reviews from people that have read it. And it's the first of, I think, Joanne and I are working on 3 other ebooks of equal length right now, my partner. And so, yeah, it's just ways to get deeper into these spiritual teachings that I've been blessed to be channeling for the last number of years.
So can you, in like a short synopsis, sort of tell us what the
Sure.
I'm going to put the information in the chat of how people can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. So my guides say we have 3 choices every day. The first choice is we're invited. We're invited to know and honor our spiritual nature. And when life is easy, we have somehow found permission to answer the invitation. If we don't answer the invitation to find and follow our spiritual nature, then we are challenged. And that is when things get more difficult, and there are problems and there are struggles and et cetera, et cetera. If we meet the challenge, then we go back to living in a life of freedom and invitation. If we don't meet the challenges, then we move into crisis, which is the third way that life gets our attention. So spirit, it never asserts itself. It is always inviting us to remember who we are, working through love and peace and helping us to come back to those vibrations in ourselves. But if we're in a state of chaos or confusion or crisis or challenge, then, the paradox is when we need help the most, vibrationally, we are least available to it. So it's just kind of a reminder of how important coming to peace is. They say peace is the presence of infinite possibilities. And this is really where our power comes from. And in this time of acceleration and intensification, Spirit is really asking us to learn how to be centered and how to come to peace as a skill so that inspiration and healing can find us. So basically the invitation is to keep coming back to peace and keep coming back to being grateful and thankful for our lives as a creative act, and then see what evolves and what changes from there. The choice is inspiration or desperation, and the invitation is always being offered.
I'm sorry if I was typing.
You're fine.
Okay. So I thought, well, maybe before we take some questions, maybe you could lead us on a meditation.
Yes, dear. I have something. This
okay.
is prayer for the new moon.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. And I'll just do this, and then I might do some channeling with you as we go on. Yeah.
Yes, please do. Everyone likes channeling.
Okay, we know that. All right. So
yeah.
So go ahead, everyone, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And just to set the stage, so this is a cosmic moment. These yesterday and today, very powerful time of setting a clear intention as the energies of awakening, healing, and growth accelerate in our lives. We are being asked to be crystal clear with ourselves, what we want, what we're open to receive, and what we're willing to expect. And so this is a way to help to focus those energies and to add your energies to the collective awakening that's happening throughout the world and be a part of this loving service to all of humanity. I am willing to begin again. I am willing to ask for help. I am willing to see with new eyes and hear with new ears. The messages, the inspirations, the love songs of my soul and spirit. Use me this day, divine love, holy self, Holy Spirit, that I may embody and express the wholeness and the realness of the love and light of all that is as me. I know it is so. I am that I am. I am grateful and thankful. I let it be, and so it is. Dear friends, give thanks for, celebrate, honor, and respect yourself. You have come farther than you know. You have come closer than you realize to all that you will ever know. We love you so. Peace and blessings. Namaste.
Oh, very nice prayer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you write that prayer?
I did.
Nice.
I channeled that. Yeah.
Awesome. Very
Sure.
good.
I'll send it to you if you want to post it.
I'd love it. Maybe we can post it in the chat. It's really nice.
Groovy.
Yeah. So you want to channel for us?
Sure. I'm happy to do that.
All right. Glasses come off.
Glasses off. Yes, the real thing.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Here we go. Right. God bless you, dear friends. It's a pleasure to be here with you one more time. Sit up nice and straight. Bring 7 stars down. Touch the crown. Take a nice deep breath. Relax and release. Let the energy flow through the 7 chakra centers, crown, third eye, throat, and heart. Another breath. Beautiful. Down the will center, the sacral, the root, hips, legs, feet, down into Mother Earth. Take another deep breath. Right. So, dear friends, once again, you're a powerful spiritual being living in the most exciting time in human history. And for many, this will be a time of great courage and great clarity, of allowing yourself that permission within at long last to live the life of your dreams, to not let anything or anyone, including yourself, hold yourself back from that which you desire to know as your physical experience in this lifetime of lifetimes. Take a breath into that. Dear friends, for others, it will be a time of intense choosing and of re-examining belief systems and ideas and assumptions, dear friends. So much of your world has been unconscious, dear friends. It's the metaphor of walking asleep. But those of you who are willing to dream a new dream are awakening. And you're here to be of loving service to your fellows throughout the world, to help them realize that everyone truly is, in the eyes of God, equal, perfect, whole, and complete, a spiritual being having a human experience. So, dear ones, of course, you cannot make the choice for another, but you are here to make your choice. And those of you going first on this journey, dear friends, you are different. And when you embrace the difference that you are, you will embody the difference that you've come here to make. Neither greater nor lesser, dear friends, just perhaps more prepared for these accelerating energies and all the opportunities that they're bringing into your life. So blessing you, blessing your loved ones, blessing this time and space, blessing Mother Earth and all of humanity. We give thanks for moments such as this, when we can truly remind you from our heart to yours, you are enough, all is well. We will meet again. Peace and blessings. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the grounding is so important, you know, and I find that one of the things that people don't realize is that when they're out of sorts, they're not grounded.
Right.
You know, like
sure.
They don't realize it. And the beings, your guides were saying about it, the grounding is the first real step. And
right.
People just really forget. So how do you ground? How do you do that?
Yeah, I meditate for an hour or two before I put my feet on the floor every day, listening to different guided meditations, Lazarus, Abraham, Patricia, Coda Robles, you know, these kinds of teachers. And then I get up and I write in my journal and have my coffee, and then I do my morning prayers, which you've seen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you know, quoting from Abraham and Eileen Caddy of Finn Horn and Course in Miracles and all of that is helping me to ground. And then, of course, like yourself, you know, I've been meditating for decades, and you know, what my guides talk about is how when we have a spiritual practice, it brings us more in touch with the peace inside of us. And as I said, since spirit is in a state of love and peace, if we're not close to that state ourselves, it's very hard for them to really influence us.
Right.
So the grounding is coming to peace. And the easiest, quickest way I know to do that is to consciously breathe, and to give thanks. I bless this day. I bless my body, my life, my work, my family and friends, etc., etc. That to me is very grounding.
Yeah, because you're acknowledging blessings.
Yeah. The grounding is really feeling safe to open our hearts.
Yeah. For the person who's like, but I think sometimes when I meditate, I get high, and then I gotta ground. I gotta ground from the meditation. But I also think too, like there's a time where, you know, you're walking through your life and you're finding that everything is irritating you. You're also in a way not grounded. You know what I mean? Because you're not grounded into your love and into your divine nature. You're really outside of it. You're outside of yourself, and you're not, you know. So in that moment, to sort of stop and just take a deep breath and just recenter, you know, to realize that the reaction is not necessary like that.
Sure. That's right.
Take that step back and say, okay, I'm really about to blow here.
Right.
You know?
Not a good place to be. Yeah.
So if you can catch it before you blow.
Yes.
You know, if your knee-jerk reaction is, oh wait, I'm gonna blow, it's better to have that knowledge of it than just to blow.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're a step further if you find out your hand is raising.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
To do whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yes, I do. Yes, sure. So I mean, the thing is with anger, you know, anxiety, fear, anger. So anger says my emotional needs are not being met. And our core emotional needs that we're in charge of meeting every day, every one of us, is safety, love, and support. And usually anger comes up through disappointment and a shock and unmet expectations. You know, I expected something, you're not giving it to me. You promised something, you didn't deliver on it, whatever. You know, or I need something and I'm not in touch with my need about this, these kinds of things. So it's like an emotional trigger, like you're saying, you know, and the gift of having a spiritual practice is hopefully we're able to be more discerning and actually detach from the drama, either in our heads or in the world, and take a step back and not just be reactive and caught up in everything.
Right. I mean, that's the difference, you know. Can you imagine, like, if our world leaders could dial it back? I was, you know, one of the things I was wondering about is when we were talking about this sort of really moving into the sort of the end of this patriarchy, I'll be interested to what is the world going to look like in 2021, say, versus 2020? Because things did change very fast from 2016 to now.
Sure.
They went crazy town. And I wonder, are we going to have that rapid of a progression?
Well, I honestly,
a return to sanity, maybe?
Well, no, I think it's going to take some time, and it's just beginning. And you know, as we know from like 12 steps in recovery, and I think that the world's, you know, like you're talking about anxiety or anger, the world is, you know, easily triggered into its fears. You know, humanity is easily triggered into our fears. So it can, you know, for some people, life is going to get easier and easier because we're willing to believe that it can, as I was just saying, there. For others, it's going to get harder because they're going to still be living by the old laws of reality creation from the outside in, and trusting authority and giving our power away and blind trust and these kinds of things, which we're seeing politically, you know, in extremism and tribalism and things like this, nationalism and all that. Whereas other people are, you know, becoming more inclusive and more holistic and more earth-centered. And so it's just these values are going to begin to pull more powerfully in different ways, you know, alternative timelines or paths or different side of the fence, whatever metaphor you want, or different worlds even. But I think it is things we are going to begin to separate more over the next decade.
You know what I wish now that people, I mean, I know we can feel it in our own life.
Right.
But what I wish, my secret wish, is that when timelines really do separate, that we could really know, like we kind of go, oh, I'm on a different timeline, but we don't have the awareness of what's going on in that timeline right next to us. And I wish we had that sort of extra awareness and we could just maybe go look over there.
Well, here's the way.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You could do it in meditation, but I would like it to be I would like it to be that visceral to where we could go, oh, okay, on this, you know.
Yes. Well,
you know what I mean?
Yes. No, I honestly think that that's possible. It's like Lazarus would teach us, my teacher would say, you know, when you graduate from high school and go to college, it's not like you've forgotten what high school is like. You're just more interested in college.
Right.
You know, it's just that, you know, 3D is a different set of realities than fourth and fifth dimension.
Right.
Yeah. And so the whole focus that we're all getting so much of these days about love, joy, appreciation, and gratitude, being grateful, having fun, doing what we love, loving what we do. You know, we're trying to wake up from this whole, honestly, masculine paradigm, the patriarchy, of struggle and survival, and our worth comes from working hard and suffering and these kinds of things. Whereas Spirit is saying it's not that at all. It comes from creating from your beliefs, and you can believe that life can be a joy, and it will begin to be a joy, and you'll begin to manifest more of what you want, and you'll be very grateful that you're letting go of struggle and survival.
I agree. I was just thinking it would be, maybe that's what I personally need to, well, Lucia wants to comment. Go ahead, Lucia. Lucia, where's she at?
Yes, hi. Sorry, I was having trouble unmuting. This is a recurring theme with me. Hello, Lou. Hello,
Hi.
Karen, and everyone there. So I've had an experience about switching a timeline, but I didn't know that's what was happening. And I'm just going to share this with anyone who might be experiencing something similar. And so it was 2 nights before Lionsgate, so the night of the 6th, the 7th of August.
Yeah.
And I was in a deep sleep, and I was woken up by lights from with my eyes closed. And so I thought it might have been some sort of lightning bolt, and went outside, and it was peaceful. No rain, no storm of any kind. And I had a channeling session with Tyler Ellison, who speaks, Ryok is a Nesasani who speaks through Tyler Ellison. And it was explained to me that the light came from within me, from my pineal gland, and it switched me to a more favorable timeline. Now, a few months ago, I shared here on the webinar that I was experiencing some thyroid issues. And since then, I'm in recovery. I'm not completely drug free, but I'm now, let's say, that halfway there.
Great.
In very little time. And so, and I can say also that yesterday I had a similar event happen, but I didn't freak out like the first time, because I knew it was coming from me and not any outside force.
Right.
And so
That's
that
great.
was a revelation for me, myself. You know, sometimes we feel we have these just unusual experiences, and we think they might be coming from the outside in, but in fact, some of them are coming from ourselves. That was just what I wanted to say. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, brilliant. Lucia, can I ask you, hon, can you talk more about the pineal gland and how that awakening is helping you?
Well, you see, I wasn't aware it was the pineal gland. I thought it was an outside force, because I I've had experiences with different types of beings who want my attention.
Okay.
But it's just that it was so it's just the light was so intense, and it was explained to me it was a pulse, and that my guides were actually helping me and switching to a different timeline. And when I started thinking about that time, the 6th of August, I was having very peaceful days, more like a vacationing, reading a lot of books, having nothing to do with spirituality, honestly.
Great.
Just like enjoying life, just
Yes,
like
dear.
enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't allow myself to do that enough. And now that's all I want to do is just be in the moment, and just and sometimes life asks you to, work. So
Sure.
you
Sure.
have to, and you're not always, you can't always be doing what you love to do, such as dishes and whatnot. We understand what it is to be living in 3D, but you make the best of it, of course. But
Sure.
um I just thought was I wasn't even thinking or reading about the pineal gland, you see? So
Yeah.
it was a surprise, but then it all started making sense because my health changed, you see?
Right. Right.
And so I think that they switched me to a timeline where my thyroid is working really well.
Yeah. 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 Well, plus, I'm sure that's true. Plus, as you said, you were relaxed, you were open, you're feeling good about yourself, you're available. And that's, it always happens in the moment we think not, these activations. And, it's a real acceleration on your spiritual journey. And thanks for sharing that.
I would also say that my psychic abilities have gone up a notch as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Brilliant.
Yeah. And so, everybody has their own mission on earth. And so I think what it did is that it enhanced my own like personal abilities. And so if anyone has any experiences like of that sort, know that it really is guided for your highest good,
Sure. Sure.
and not freak out because
Yes.
it is very intense. Anyway.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's good. Well, yeah, no, that's lovely. I love hearing that. And you're such a gentle soul, you're really in your heart. And this is the thing. This is the meek shall inherit the earth, and as I talk about women especially, or anyone whose heart is open with love and compassion, there is an acceleration that is beginning to happen for more and more people. And they are going to bring us these gifts that we have not been in touch with for lifetimes. So you're in divine timing, I'd say.
Yes, and also in that same channeling session, it was so interesting that you're bringing up past lives. Is that there's some past lives where, well, in for myself, but I would suppose it's like this for many people, is that we have similar themes, and in this lifetime, we're coming in more as a master of some of these themes because of the time what's
Yeah.
happening on Earth at this moment, and so anyone who thinks, or sees, or, because we're kind of an open community here in Hukalo, and people are exploring, who they are on so many levels. And I would encourage you, if you come across one lifetime that is very similar to yours now, in a very positive way, of course, is that it will be shouldering you in this one. And so it's worth exploring.
Sure.
Because your how can I say, so your gifts from that past life is you have access to those gifts now.
Yes, if you're open to them, as you are.
Well, you have to start by recognizing, right? You have to be able to say, okay, this is what is. Because if you can't identify it, then you can't really relate to it. So but this is still, I'm still in this I mean, the journey started a while ago, but I find that it's new all the time.
Well, that's the magic word.
You're never done. You're never done.
Yeah.
People have this idea that you're going to just arrive. You're supposed to have lived thousands of lifetimes, and people think they're going to get it in 15 minutes. It's just crazy.
Right.
Yeah, no, it
Don't
unfolds.
arrive. You're always on the journey.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily need to know where you're going. It really is one moment at a time. Yeah.
Right.
All
right.
right.
That's such an important point. I just want to underline that, Lucia. We're never shown the whole stairway. We're only shown the next step, and it could be from a past life, wonderful, or it can be from somewhere else. It's Spirit is asking for our faith and trust, and when we can give that, provide that vibrationally in peace and love, boom, then the puzzle piece will fit in, and it will always be better than we've expected. But like you're saying, it can be quite intense also. So it's good to have that grounding, to come back to Karen's point of knowing you are on your spiritual path. You are a spiritual being. This is the purpose of your life. Everything else is just details.
And I would add to that when we're not feeling well in our bodies, we're all, not just like in our minds or in our spirit. It really is about the grounding. Like I can say that about the thyroid. I was ungrounded, and now I'm feeling, the contrast now that I'm becoming more grounded every day.
Right.
And
plus
so
also
when we are, go ahead.
No, after you.
No, go ahead. It's because I thought I had something else to say, but I don't. Go ahead.
Well, all right. Forgive me for interrupting you. But all I wanted to say, Hannah, is this is again about women and voices. The thymus, the thyroid, is the chakra between the heart and the throat. So it's wanting to connect our emotional truth and speak that out into the world.
Yes, yeah. Wasn't there a quote from the Dalai Lama who said that it would, and I might get this wrong, so please correct me. It had to do with women, and it would be soccer moms that would be saving the world somehow, and people just kind of just laughed at that. I think I'm understanding the quote better now. I think I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if Karen, you know the quote.
I don't think it was the soccer moms. I'm sorry. I don't think it was the Dalai Lama. It was, I know who it was. Give me a second.
Okay. It's okay. It doesn't really matter. It's just that
what he
at
said,
the beginning.
What he said was that it would be it's the educated Western woman that would bring yoga back to India, and also would transform the world. It was it wasn't Paramahansa Yogananda, but it was Ramana Krishna, I think, that said it.
Oh, okay. All right. And you see, at the beginning, a lot of people laughed at that and said, like, what is this guy talking about? But the thing is that us women, I can talk about, I'm part of that. So I'm not living in a country where I'm worried about bombs, or I sleep well in a nice home where, I can choose my thoughts better than someone who's under attack or not eating and suffering. And
Sure.
so I think this is now what I understand from that quote.
Yes.
And so then we actually have the luxury of being able to, dream that dream. You're talking about lucid dreaming earlier.
Yeah.
Which is very apropos, I would say. Yeah.
One of my very good professors in my school, and I was a theater major, but in my art, he was a art history major, and he said that it's only in societies where people's basic needs are met that society can thrive.
Sure.
And the great advances are made in the societies that have, your basic needs, things like water, things like food, education, hygiene, medicine, all of these things. And if those people's basic needs are not met, then society cannot thrive. And that is why they talk about the importance of women in their education, because when women are educated in any society advances.
Right.
So many societies of the world, people don't have access to clean water. They don't have access to hygiene. They don't have access, the women who have to carry water don't have toilets. So the women have to hold their urine and hold their bowel movements all day. So at night they can go out and relieve themselves. Do you know how much disease is, just things like clean water takes all of the burden off of the women, because 90% of the women are the ones that have to go get the water. They're the ones that have to walk 2 kilometers with water on their head. And if you take that where they can have clean water at home, then wow, a child can go to school.
Yeah.
As
yeah,
opposed,
right.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's so many basic needs that have to be met. But when we're in a society where we have those things and women are able to, you see it as women are able to go up, as then they're the ones that are able to advance. So we as women owe it to the world to support women's rights, women's education all over the world, not just for ourselves. That's the service that we're being called to, not this service of, oh, I'm going to just serve my own interest, but we have to really look out for each other in humanity. And if we can do anything, the basic needs of everyday people will change the world. When it's not about people begging or, taking anything from society, but about having their basic needs met. And then we can grow spiritually as a world, not just individually. So
and just to bring some balance to all this is not to take away, I've had some suffering in my life. I have people around me who are, going through all sorts of different types of diseases. And it's not to say that they're not also bringing the spiritual awakening. It's like everyone is working together. All of it has a role to play. And so I just wanted to, kind of acknowledge that those who are suffering are also bringing, because they're bringing awareness where there needs to be healing.
Sure. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Absolutely. If there isn't the need, then we don't find the way to meet the need. And like you're both saying, the world has a lot of needs that are not being well met. And that's the challenge for all of us, is to meet. And so the other part of it is to meet our own needs, then, allows us to believe that we can help others to meet their needs as well. It's when all of us are coming from a place of deficit and struggle and anxiety and overwhelm that the meeting of other people's needs seems a complete luxury.
Yes. Totally agree with that.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Karen, your mic is muted, hon.
Oh, sorry, my computer's frozen, so I can't shift the view. So we're going to have to stay on your view. I can't.
All right.
So my whole computer's frozen on Zoom right now, so I can't do anything here.
Okay.
So I can't see the chat. I can't. So if Dawn, is there anything in the chat you can read that needs to be asked?
I have just one question from Reinhard Hausman, and his question is, can you ask the Time Lord to take you in astral to your past if it's allowed? He said it all depends, question mark.
Can I personally, or can any one of us?
Well, he was asking if the Time Lords can do this.
Well, I think anything's possible if we believe it is. And as he said, if it's for our highest good. Like Spirit is not always wanting to show us things that we're not ready yet to experience. The best way I know to set that intention, Reinhard, is to give thanks that this or something better is coming forth to meet my needs about knowing about myself in a deeper way. For me, the whole process of channeling and working as a spiritual counselor and helping people with prayers and the resources that are available to all of us is framing the question in the most receptive and open and inclusive way, so that Spirit isn't just limited for one answer to one question. That's where we tend to make our mistakes. So, that would be my honest response to that very deep question.
Okay, that's all the questions that I have here at the moment.
All right.
Okay, well, I think it's important that the question was good. What you said is, he said if it's for the highest good, and your response was that, one, if you believe they can, and two, if they're allowed to.
Yeah, if it is for his highest good. But it's what I'm wanting to speak to is that why does he want to know that? And is that going to empower him to be more present in his life right here and now? Or is that going to distract him? Would that be a distraction? See, these are all the questions the Spirit has to balance in terms of anything we ask. We want, we're in pain and we want to get out of pain, but Spirit wants us to get healthy, to get out of pain, you know, or we're in debt and Spirit wants us to grow in honoring our skills and abilities to prosper and then get out of debt. You know, they don't give us shortcuts. They give us the most elegant answer to the next step on our spiritual journey.
So I think that's, and then the other thing is if you believe it, but you can also believe that you can do it and you don't need Time Lords to do it. Is that, or do you think
yes, that would be my suggestion.
Is that your point?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, you can also call on Time Lords or whatever other beings that help you. Would you consider them to be a permission slip?
Well, you know, it gets very fuzzy. The Spirit must respond to the universe that we believe in. You know, it's not going to do it for us. It does it with us.
Right.
And so if we think that Time Lords is the highest way, but there is something that we're not seeing or not knowing or not aware of, that's not going to be the next step on our journey, then they're not going to do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
again, like you and I know, and everyone here can begin to practice, excuse me, make your request the most open and inclusive. You know, Spirit is there. Spirit, I give thanks knowing that the next step on my journey of empowerment and awakening at this time is in your hands, and it is coming to me in the perfect time, in the perfect way. And I'm grateful to know that. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because it's almost the Jonah and the whale thing. You know, you're going to get there eventually, but you might get swallowed by the whale in the meantime. It doesn't mean it's always going to be the smoothest ride. And I think things like people sometimes want to know certain things because they're trying to, you know, ensure their ride is going to be smooth. And I would say to you, you can try and ensure all you want, but you're not going to be able to, because part of our experience is the contrast, and part of our healing of certain things is to go through these contrasts. And I will also say that there is nowhere in any text anywhere from any reputable spiritual being that says life is going to be easy.
Well, right.
There's nowhere. There's always going to be pain. There's always going to be sorrow.
I was thinking that today, the contrast that came up today, because I was really angry about some things.
Go ahead, David. What? Tell us.
Well, just exactly what you said. I was just trying to figure out about some stuff I've been dealing with that's been really heavy. And I remembered that from other lessons of angel sessions and other things about that you have to make it happen, and that the contrast happens to allow you to experience the difference so that you know what you want, you know what you do like, and you know what you don't want, and you can work from that frame point. Right.
Let me, I appreciate you sharing that, David, and I appreciate what you're saying, Karen. So this is the way my guides work with these very deep subjects, which is it's not easy, but it is simple. And it gets easier with practice. Where's my little thing here? Learn to listen to, trust, and follow your heart by going into peace as often and as deeply as possible. Peace is the presence of infinite possibilities. The heart knows what the mind struggles to believe. Believe in love. So if I'm angry or upset or frightened or confused, like we were saying earlier, I know that I'm a million miles away from where Spirit would like me to be, to help me to understand how to solve this problem or answer this question. It's fine. There's no judgment, like Karen's saying, and you as well, David. We need the contrast, but the contrast is not telling us what anything means. It's inviting us to decide what it means. And so at the cutting edge of 3D moving into fourth and fifth dimension, pain and fear are not required for our spiritual growth any longer. They may be a part of our conditioning in the world right now, but they're not where we're going. Where we're going is being more in tune and in touch with loving ourselves and trusting that life is our mirror and creating the kind of life that we want to have. Now, have I mastered this? No, my friends, I have not mastered this, but I believe that is the territory that we're being called to live in. So to heal grief, anger, sadness is, for me, and this is in my little book there, The Invitation, is about self-forgiveness. Like, often we judge ourselves and we are reflecting that in our relationships. You know, I was nice, but they're mean to me, or I asked for something and they promised and they haven't delivered, or whatever it is. You know, the ego is great at creating these distractions, but, you know, there's themes that are emerging for all of us in this time of awakening. And Spirit is asking us to take responsibility for what we're creating and say, do you really want more of this? Or would you like to see how you can change this? And that's where I'm interested in hanging out.
There's a really good question that's along the lines of this from Lee. Sorry, Dawn, to jump on your questions here, but I see in the YouTube chat, because considering I can't see the chat in our room, that it's from Lee Dyer, and he says, how do we navigate thoughts of future timelines that cause anxiety, such as collapse of our biosphere due to the burning of the Amazon?
Right. So this is going to be one of the questions on our final exam in this lifetime, my friends. And I just want to say, David, thank you for sharing that. I hope some of that got addressed. We can come back to it if it didn't. But sure, if we think we're living in a world that's dying, that would make everyone very anxious. But this is what Spirit has been teaching me and many other people for a while. This is an illusion, and it is going to be what we believe it can be. And anyone on the planet, like, let's talk about nuclear war, for example, which people my age grew up with. Yeah. I remember thinking there's no way we're going to survive the 80s when Reagan was waving the nuclear missiles at Russia, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And then it turned out all this information that I know there's a lot of people that are into the star nations here, that the ETs were disempowering, disengaging. Yeah, disabling. Thank you. There you go. All the nuclear weapons around the planet over and over again. So there's more going on here that meets the eye. Yes, is the planet in a climate crisis? Yes. Are we going to get through it? Yes, we are going to get through it. We don't know how yet, but we will, just like we got through the nuclear thing. Because it's not, the Earth is truly our mother, and she's not going to destroy life on planet Earth as a means of getting our attention. She is going to move things around and change things to get our attention. But once she has our attention, which is what is happening more and more, we are going to respond in more and more conscious ways that's going to make the world a better place to live in. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah. Interesting. And it's also another answer, and I'm sorry people can't see me, but I can't switch the views anymore because my Zoom is frozen, but listen to my voice. But
I can see you.
I know, but
okay.
The people they can't see me.
Okay.
Yeah, they can only see you. So be aware. They're looking at you. So.
I can handle it. Yeah.
But the other thing is staying in the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
That's another way to not, generally when we're feeling stress and fear is because we're either living in the past or the future.
Right.
And neither one exists. The only thing that exists is this now moment.
Right.
So, that's what the grounding is for.
Yes.
Keep us in this now moment and keep us in the present. And if we're in this now moment and we're living in an appreciation, then we're experiencing a beautiful world,
Yes.
Yeah.
Cryon, for example, says the Earth is going to turn into a tropical rainforest. Okay. Interesting theory. Abraham says the world is getting better and better. So, we all know that the news You know, a lot of it is, I mean, if you want to know what 3D is about, you just turn on the news any day and you get a constant reminder. It's panic and fear and division and lack and struggle and tragedy, you know, and then you get your fill and you go on and try to find some hope and some inspiration again. But there are all these wonderful stories that are happening throughout the world all the time that we're just not aware of because it's not being broadcast into our screens as much as the other stuff is. So that's all going to shift over the next few years because people are going to need inspiration and hope more than just information. You see?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, very good. Is there any other questions? Did anyone else have a question?
Oh, yeah, I was just saying I had a question.
Go ahead, David. Yeah.
And I see you, Karen. I see.
Well, you can see me, but the YouTube people can't.
We know in the other term too, like I see you.
David's getting very deep now. Go, man.
David's getting philosophical now. Great.
He's put his philosophy.
Okay, this is, yeah. Go ahead.
So things have been a little heavy lately. Deep sadness and some, you know, things going on. And I was interested in some guidance with shadow work. What's the clarity on how to do that? What is your take and process on working with those things? Because with self-love or any issues that, because everything you said is a reflection, and there's some stuff going on that has just caused great sadness. And I just was like, you know, why does this? They're saying that it keeps happening because I need to do shadow work, and I don't understand.
Sure. Sure. Well, that's a great question. I'm really happy you asked that. I mean, so the way I experience this, the way I work with it, the way it's been explained to me, David, is the shadow is the parts of us that we deny, that we disown. And there's both dark shadow and light shadow. And there, of course, there's the great quote from Marianne Williamson who says, it's not our darkness that we're afraid of, it's how bright our light could be. And so basically, like when you're talking about doing the inner work with grief and sorrow, what you're working on, to my mind, is going through the grief and sorrow and coming out the other side. And it's as Karen said about emotions and the power of emotions. People tend to feel things and then deny those feelings and wonder why they're trapped and stuck in the situation that keeps bringing these feelings up. So what I've worked with men to do, and it's been my own journey, just give yourself that permission to be sad, to grieve, and to let the grief take you to the other side of the journey where you feel good about yourself again. You see, and for me, the pivot point of that is forgiveness. There's this happened, it wasn't good, I didn't like it, I had a part to play in it, maybe I'm embarrassed or regretful or ashamed about it, but it's done, and then I want to make my peace with it. How do I do that? I accept that for whatever reason I allowed or created that. This is the secrets here you're looking for, and then I forgive myself for creating that, and then I can be grateful that it happened because it's given me my power back. I'm taking my power back about it. I'm not running from it. I'm not in denial of it. It happened. I did it. I forgive myself. Now I've got my power back. Now I'm grateful that it happened. Does it make sense?
Yeah, and somebody reminded me when I was feeling really deep sadness, I called a friend, and she was giving me a different perception from what she had learned that was similar, that was really funny.
Okay. I love funny.
It was amazing. I mean, she really helped me a lot. Because I was feeling pretty rough, and just thinking about it, it's like bringing it back. But
we'll see, it's self-judgment. That's where people stay stuck. I shouldn't have done this. I should have known better. Why did I do this? What's the matter with me? Does that sound familiar?
No, I didn't do anything.
No? Okay. All right, that's good. Great. I'm delighted.
Maybe some of it. Yes.
No, I don't know. Whatever.
Totally.
Well, let me stop you. It does. You are judging yourself.
You create everything.
You know if you are. You don't have to tell me. You know if you are. The thing is, no one takes our power from us. We only give it away. You hurt me, I'm victimized, you lied to me, or I lied to you, I made you my victim, whatever it is, it's one of those. It's not a big choice. Okay.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah,
whatever happened, I was the victimized one or the victim, the victimizer or the victim. So whatever happened, I want to forgive myself for that, and then move into how is this serving me to grow spiritually? That's the essence of what I want to say.
Oh, so when you feel hurt, you're saying that's like victim kind of idea?
Yeah, hurt is our response to feeling powerless to change our circumstances emotionally.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great point. I really appreciate you saying that. And what was said in relation to what I was saying before is that you going deep within, going into that space to be with yourself and alone and reflect and think about the things that are going on and process these. And I've heard that before, that you have to go through the pain. Like if somebody dies, you have to go through the pain to the joy, through the tunnel to get to the joy on the other side. You can't just push it down, let it go. And she was saying that it's like she was told that it's kicking your own butt. It's like going deep within and just doing the work and really deep reflection and really working on things.
Well, yes, we're on 90% on the same page, my friend. I'm just saying what grief does is it shows us how deeply we care. When you lose someone or something that you love, your heart will break open if you're a feeling human being. If as a man in this world, you're not fucking allowed to have your heart break open, pardon my French, then you deny that, you drink that away, you screw that away, whatever you can do to numb out. And you find, I can't get rid of this. I can't get past this. I keep coming up against this. And that's the message from the spirit and the emotional self. It's saying, no, you must face this, like you're saying, in order to come out the other side. And if you face it by forgiving yourself, then you can face anything. But if we keep judging ourselves, then why would we want to keep punishing ourselves in that way? That's the secret. This is a gift in disguise. I'm going to be honest with myself and face it. Here's the way my guides say it, David. Face your fears, feel your feelings, find your freedom. You got to do all three to get through those hurts and traumas.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Very good.
Thank you. It works too.
Say it again. Say it again. Face your fears.
Face your fears. Feel your feelings. And see, like I say, man, this is where men are stuck. You know, women are stuck in their throats. Like we're talking about the thyroid. They're not allowed to speak their anger, so they can't speak up sometimes. They can't assert and express, get their needs met. Men, we're stuck in our hearts. We can't feel this. We can't acknowledge this. We can't confront this because it's too painful. It's too scary. It's too vulnerable. But you see, by talking about it, David, you're letting there be a space in your life for me and all of us here to cheer you on and say, you're more than your fear. You're more than your pain. And when you face that and move through it, you come out the other side and you go, yeah, I remember who I am.
May I say a light language blessing around this?
Be my guest.
To, maybe help myself and others that listen to this after. Utewa hashane etukukura hatawa achene etukure atawa achene heti kire hetu deep within the heart kuru utuma hashe hruinya hata atukukue she heti hrui we heti release kuru utua ta chikire heti feel it kunuma hata ta chikire hetu ku let it move kuma achewe heti sakuru utua shan chere heti ara usashkire. Much love.
Oh, that was good. I actually heard you say Hakuna Matata in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, felt like that. But it was beautiful.
Lovely.
The words release and feel, that was in heal. They were beautiful words.
Yeah. And David, thanks for sharing all that, brother. And the whole thing about light language, I feel, is a way for people to find their voice, and it's a beautiful thing.
Well, it's I mean, in some ways it's the spirit saying what the words and the vibrations and eliciting the vibration that we can't ever access, that maybe we can't consciously access, but it's still at the same time we're allowing that vibration to come through in the light language. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's very helpful and empowering, and it was beautiful to hear that, David.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that to really get free of our fear and our pain, we've got to give it a voice, however you choose to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. In Tantra, and everyone thinks of Tantra being like tantric sex, but that's not really truly what it is. Tantra means the weaving. It's the weaving of everything together. And there is no emotion that we shouldn't feel or acknowledge, no matter what it is. But it's a matter of allowing it, acknowledging it, as you said, and letting it, giving it the validity that it has, and not saying, oh, I shouldn't feel that. Or people will go, well, I shouldn't be angry. Well, maybe you should be angry.
Well,
maybe you should acknowledge your why it makes you angry. Maybe you should acknowledge that, as opposed to right there in that, people say that as a matter of, they say it automatically. Well, I know I shouldn't say this, or I shouldn't feel this, or I shouldn't think this. Well, you are. The thing is to say, okay, well, maybe it's not the best. You're not standing in your best self at this moment, but it doesn't mean you aren't thinking, and it doesn't mean that that it's not something that's real. And to just acknowledge the realness of whatever's coming up doesn't mean that that's defining you. A feeling is something that you are feeling. A feeling is not what you are. And we really need to understand the distinction between who we are, which is divine beings who are made of love, and the feelings that we have in situations that evoke them, whether it's past situations or, something that is happening right in that moment. Our feelings are real, they're valid, and they are only there to show us, what is going on in that moment. And when we know that, like, anger is meaning we're not grounded, we're not in control, the opportunity there is to get into control. When you're feeling the pain of many lifetimes or your childhood, it's not to say that you are that, but that this is something, again, the opportunity to heal. All of it's always an invitation to heal. All of it's always a call to your divine self to remember who they are and to acknowledge what is, and then you can shift it. Yeah.
Right. What's interesting is the word that we are a weave of light, and the word human, HUE, means light. We are a weave of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual.
Right.
Right. And we need the darkness to find the light. We need the cold to know what warm is. We need empty to know what full means. One is not right and the other isn't wrong. It's like you're saying, Karen, it's this willingness to move through it, and to not stay stuck in it. And like my guides say, acknowledge, surrender, and release what has been denied or resisted. And then accept, forgive, and be grateful that this has come to my attention. Fear and pain are not punishment.
David, can you mute yourself?
Come on.
Ich wünsche es dem Interessenstimmen so. Yeah. Mute yourself, honey.
Thank you.
I can't mute her.
Yeah. So in other words, I mean, we're really getting down to it now, guys. This is really the heart of what I understand to be so important about spiritual healing, is that, like my guides say, my favorite quote from my guides is, the heart knows what the mind struggles to believe. And so our mind is trying to talk us into should and supposed to, have to and must, into and out of things all the time. But our heart is saying, that's not my truth, or that doesn't help me, or that doesn't meet my emotional needs. And, it's not that we're trying to prove something, we're trying to understand something, maybe is a better way to say it. And when we take time and make space for peace, we come back to understanding, and then we bring that clarity into our lives. And when contrast shows up, which it must, then we're better able to be grounded and present to deal with it from a conscious place, responsibly, rather than a reactive place fearfully.
Yes, yes, yes. I agreed. There's a question from Richard Hausman in the chat, and it's an interesting question because you know that this group is very ET oriented.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So here's a question he has, and I think it's a good one to address. He says, I have a fear that first contact may not occur and that I won't get to see my hybrid children and my Yaya wife. How can I make this pain go away?
Well, you know, that's really reaching for a fear, my friend. You know, I have to say that's reaching with both hands. But I mean, you know, I don't mean to be dismissive of your question. It's just not my reality on a deep level, the way it might be for you, and that's fine. But you know, so the mind is like a hungry ghost. Addiction, obsession, compulsion. This is how we've given the negative ego all this power. And it keeps programming us in lack and fear and struggle and pain and loss. And so, like when I was saying in the channeling there, it's like the world is still asleep. This is what we're talking about. The world believes in lack and limitation and fear and pain and loss. Can we prove those things are real? Yes, we've proven that for centuries. Could we dream a new dream? Anytime we like, we could dream a new dream. Right now is what we're being invited to realize. So when I give thanks for the meeting of my needs, then my needs are better able to be met. If I'm anxious and worried about the meeting of my needs, it's harder for me to meet those needs. You can use this for anything you want in your life. You know, I don't have obviously any power or control over anything you've just expressed, other than to tell you this is how I strive to consciously create reality about the things that I care about. And what I see is so important with spirit. This is their statement about co-creation with spirit. When we're in our faith, when we co-create lovingly with spirit, when we're trusting that there is a higher purpose to our lives, what we've asked for comes out of the blue in the way we least expect it, better than we've imagined possible, revealing our true nature. And someone said it here, that our true nature is love and peace. And so you want love and peace because the meeting of your family in this world or the next, in this dimension or another one, is going to bring you more of that joy and happiness. So give thanks for that joy and happiness and let the universe show you how that is already possible.
Kara,
I hope that's helpful.
Yeah. Well, I think it speaks to a lot of things where, you know, we're guaranteed nothing in this life.
Except
and
death.
So, you know, we're not guaranteed anything in this life. We're not guaranteed anything in any extra dimensional lives, you know, so we can't, I mean, we can, but to have the fear of something that may or may not occur anytime soon, it's just, yeah, it's a hard one because there's a lot of people that have a lot vested. They really want this. But I always said that I always feel like it's that kind of idea of the Great Wall of China, where we're all playing a part in building this, you know, this way. And
yeah. Yes, well said.
We, you know, but the person who envisioned the Wall of China never saw it built.
Right.
But the person who dreamed that first dream is as important as the person who laid that last brick.
Sure.
You know, but the whole journey of building the wall, which took 1,000 years, even though maybe that might be incorrect, it was all very important. And there were so many stages. Think of all the lives of how many people participated in that. Mm-hmm. So you have to hold the vision of what you want, knowing that the completion may not be seen by you, but that, you know, it's still important. So right. if your desire is contact, you know, because you want to see the other things, but if your true desire is contact, and we know that the part of what's keeping humanity from contact is the evolution of the species and the ascension of the species, where we won't attack where they have to feel like they can come without being attacked. Then, well, I mean, there's several things. Then humanity has to be more evolved, hands down. Right. So what will it take to make this happen? And to make it happen in the long term is that we have to all work together. So, but be focused on what you can control, was my point. And what you can control is what you do in the now.
Right.
What are you doing in the now?
Right. Right. Yeah. So I like what you're saying. I have no doubt that there's life existing in other realities, other worlds, other dimensions, and that ETs have been interacting with us for centuries, and it's happening right now, and it's happening all the time. Why we're not aware of it and why the culture denies it is because of this hidden agenda of victim consciousness, that everything is motivated out of pain and fear and keeping people disempowered and disconnected from our true nature. And I'm saying this is what this time is about. We're awakening back into glimpses, is what Lucia talked about. And Karen and I have had these experiences. I'm sure many people have had enlightening, awakening, transforming experiences. The ETs, our brothers and sisters from other worlds, they're not going to interact with us until we are in sovereignty, until we take dominion over our reality and take responsibility for it. Then they can interact with us without us negatively influencing their reality. Right.
So, I mean, and that's why I'm saying his question is kind of a big question. And I would say there's no guarantee that in his lifetime that will be there. But every step that we make towards that is a victory, for humanity. That's so if you want to spend your time being a positive force for that, then get busy with your own, not that he's not, but I'm just saying that the solution is to stay in this now moment and to be your best self and to work on that, because that's the only thing you can really control is your
Right. So if we're fearful that something isn't going to happen, that's the dominant energy around it, and the universe has to respect our free will. So worry is asking for what you don't want. Anxiety is asking for what you don't want. Fear is asking for what you don't want. Love, joy, appreciation, gratitude is, wow, isn't it wonderful what I do know about other worlds and my connection to them? Isn't it amazing we live in this time where we can share all of this in such a more open way than ever before? Whatever you can find that is going to feed your love, joy, appreciation, and gratitude relative to this issue will begin to allow the universe to create a path, just like the Great Wall of China or the space program or any great human achievements, will begin to move the energy in that direction to allow that to be possible. Then if there's a better way for it to happen or something better to happen that will meet the fulfillment of those desires, they will create that as well. So, the problem is not that our dreams are not fulfilled. The problem is we dream too small. And we keep giving our power away, to the machine. What's Pink Floyd's line? You told us what to dream. We're being invited to become real, living, breathing visionaries, living on a planet that could look like it's dying, living on a planet that could look like it's coming apart at the seams. And we signed up for this and said, yeah, sure. I want to live in that time because I have it within me to be of good influence on a co-creation of something better in that time. But all we can do is do our best personally and encourage each other to try your best as well. And I hope it makes sense to you, because that's the way it feels for me.
Yeah. And also too, just, your contact can be internal. And so you can have your own contact, through your own meditation, and really build that to so much so that you don't feel the distance, that you don't feel the distance, and you can, in your dream time, be with them and all of those things.
Right. Abraham says the only reason you want anything is because you believe you'll feel better in the having of it. So how do you help that to happen? You feel better on the way to inviting that to happen. That's living in the fourth dimension.
Right. So someone had asked the question earlier, I forget who it was, was there any good explanation, or could you give a good explanation between the difference of the third, the fourth, and the fifth?
Great question.
Dimension.
I'll do my human best. Great question.
Yeah.
So the third dimension is about duality. It is about good, bad, black, white, right, wrong, all of those dualities. The fifth dimension is transcendent, and it is about synergy, how like attracts like, and living with consciousness, without consciousness, without an object. So in other words, you think of something, you're there, you think of someone, you connect to them, all the ways that we've looked at heaven on earth, telepathy, telekinesis, transport, everything from Star Trek and Star Wars and all that stuff that we've all been wanting to create. It's much more available at these higher vibrations. The fourth dimension is the gateway. The fourth dimension is the test to evolve from the third into the fifth. And the fourth dimension is the astral plane. It's the astral realm of all the unconscious things that we denied and been thinking about and put into our reality. And so as we ascend in these vibrations, we have to, like we're just saying here with David and dealing with the past, we have to confront the misuse of our own consciousness and make peace with that and heal that. And then we're able to live in a more conscious, in a more intimate, in a more synchronistic reality. That's my take on that.
Yeah. When you were talking about this, it brings to mind, this is totally different subject, but it brings to mind dreams that I have that I haven't, and I had one just the other day where I can move things with my hands. Mm-hmm. Like I can reach out and I'm usually lifting stuff, which is really interesting. Like whatever in my dream time, I'm always moving furniture around or lifting stuff off the ground, using my own energy. And when I wake up for that few minutes, I'm just sure I can still do it, and
that's great.
And then that sort of a feeling of like, crap, I can't do it anymore. Right. Like I could do it. And even in my stream time, it's so natural. I just do it, and I just wonder why I can't bring it back. And I know because the earth, whatever, but.
No. See, you're in the process of bringing it back. This is how our dreams become realities. You're doing very well. It's like Lucia's third eye pineal gland activation. The more relaxed we are, the more open we are, the more appreciative we are. You talked about getting very high in meditation and things like that. I know you do incredible journeys when you're doing your music and things like this, the chanting, all of that is to get us into that state where we are open and receptive to wonderful things being possible. And then we come back crashing to earth, like you're saying, and get real and get practical and all that. Well, the third dimension is closing shop. So we're being moved on now into the fourth dimension because that's what's next. And, people that are still hanging on to should, supposed to, have to, and must, they're not having these experiences. You are, Lucia is, I am, others are here because we're open to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a friend, or I still have a friend, but I had a friend who, he was very young and he went into heart failure at a young age, and they had to put him in a coma to give his heart a chance to rest. And when he was in this coma, he did so much out of body journeying, and he was really in a different place. And he was on some kind of medication that the doctor said, we can only let him stay on this for a certain amount of time, because if not, we won't be able to bring him back.
Right.
You know, but when he was out of his body, he was journeying through the worlds, and he has come back with full memory of it.
Wow.
And he said that when he got back into his body, when he started to come into his consciousness, the one thing that it wasn't the, you know, when he was waking up, he was really disappointed because he realized he was stuck in his body again.
Right. No one's happy about it.
And he was just like, crap, you know, crap, because he had been out there, you know, just, you know, seeing all kinds of dimensions and experiencing all kinds of beings. And then it was like, flump, you know, landing in your body and realizing that this is a container that is constraining in some ways. But the reason we came into this earth, and this is from my experience, this is what I was taught. We came here to experience singular focus.
Right.
Because it's impossible to be singularly focused when you're not in the body, because you are part of everything. Right. And so singular focus is actually a very exciting experience from the standpoint of beings that are not physically confined.
Yes.
Because it adds a whole new dimension to the game. You know?
Yeah. It's an accelerated spiritual path of growth.
Exactly. And so even though we're, you know, we can't, or we're not at this moment, most of us able to, you know, put their hand out and lift up the cabinet and move it from one side of the room to the other. Yeah. It doesn't mean that we won't be able to, or that we're not part of a reality where we can experience it. We just won't know about it probably too much in our waking life, unfortunately. But we know it's out there. I mean, I don't necessarily see people. I don't know that I will see people in my lifetime lifting up, you know, cars and moving them across the street with their mind, but you never know. But I don't think so. Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, no, you will. I absolutely have no doubt.
You think so?
Yeah, but not everyone's going to see it because not everyone believes that it's possible.
So the car will fly in the air. People think it's flying by itself and that there's not someone lifting it?
This is my story about the UFO and me and my girlfriend driving with another couple in the back seat. And suddenly both the women shout out, "Oh my God." And both of the men say, "What?" And they say, "You didn't see that? That a ship took off just in front of us out of the lake." And it's like this, you know, we're all in our reality and it's happening all of the time. But you see, as the vibration gets higher and higher and these energies get more and more intense, what's happening is it's reprogramming our nervous system and our brain and our DNA. So we're not in the same vehicle that we started in this lifetime. And for kids being born and, you know, the younger ones, they're in a much higher vibration. So we're going to be open to new experiences, but the universe is not going to inflict anything on us, you see? So if we focus on being afraid of the world ending, more reasons to be afraid. If we focus on this is a time of great spiritual awakening and healing and joy, more reasons to be happy and enjoy. This is the choice from 2010 onward, from 2020 onwards.
Okay, I'm going to blow your mind for a moment.
Yeah.
So when we were kids, you and I,
yes,
and other people in our age group, nuclear war was the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, at 6 and 7 years old, we were told to hide under our desks in case the Russians decided to drop a bomb on us.
Duck
right?
and cover.
Huh?
Duck and cover.
Duck and cover, that's right. And as children, believe it or not, people listening, if you're younger than 45, you won't remember this, but children were terrorized.
Man.
I remember crying at night, being afraid that we were going to die in a nuclear war.
Absolutely.
But it didn't happen then. But I don't know that it's because everybody was thinking positive.
No,
because
honey.
you're thinking pretty negative.
No,
we were sure it was going to happen.
No, let me.
You know what I mean? So I'm asking, like, how does that work? Because we all thought that was going to surely happen. And people thought that California, you know, there was a big prediction California was going to fall into the sea. It was coming. By the year 2000, California would be gone and Nevada would be waterfront property. And, you know, there's a lot of things that are predicted in every century and every life that just don't happen. Most of them being the end of the world.
Yeah. But see,
know?
Usually, yes, the end of the world.
By bomb, weather, or Jesus's return. They have yet to happen.
Yes. Well, you see the constant theme in all of this, that was very helpful to our conversation here today, to today's lesson. The constant theme in all of this is we don't have any power.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the theme for this future of our humanity on the planet. Yes, you do. You have power. By just thinking positively? Well, yes, by thinking positively, by praying, by meditating, by keeping a journal, by doing what you love and loving what you do, by treating others the way you want to be treated, the things that are heart-centered, you see. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it really is learning to live from the inside out, from our sense of our values and the belief in our values. Like, you know, Karen, all the mystics that you and I have studied with and hung out with, they're all saying the same thing, aren't they?
I suppose.
Oh, yeah,
they are. Yeah.
Because the truth is the truth. And they're all saying, you know, what I'm doing, you could do. Yeah. But you need to be willing to believe that you could do it in order for you to start to be able to do it. So that's absolutely the picture that I have of the future, that more people will be more fulfilled and more abundant and have more meaningful lives and be more conscious and awake and have greater gifts and greater access to these gifts. And that other people will, you know, be saying, why are you so happy? How come your life is working? How have you created these miracles? The key is to get out of our own way and realize when we're not being true to ourselves and ask for help. The help is there, but it's not going to be put in front of us if we don't ask, believe that we deserve it, and give thanks knowing that it's on its way. Yes. Then you're becoming receptive.
There's a question, I don't know, please don't message me, and I can't, my computer's frozen, so please don't message me in Facebook. There's a message from Michelle I can see. Michelle, I don't know if he'll know the answer to that, but you can ask.
Hi, Michelle.
I don't know if she has a microphone.
Thanks for being here. Thank you.
Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you again.
Hi. You too.
Hi. Thanks.
I just have a question. It's a general question about the Seven Sisters of the Pleiades. I've always been intrigued by Barbara Marciniak.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can tell us about them in general terms? I don't want to be too specific.
Well, I like Marciniak and her channeling. I like Barbara Han-Clow and her Pleiadian channeling. There are others as well. Yeah, you know, the Syrians, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, you know, there are different soul groups or star nations, as the natives say, that have particular focuses. To me, the Pleiadians, like Marciniak's teachings, have a lot to do with shifting the culture, the consciousness of the culture. You know, she's really deep and really profound and really penetrating in the messages that she brings forward, and they're not always comfortable or easy to hear. And basically, you know, she has one map of how the awakening is going to happen on the planet, which is pretty dramatic. But you and I get to make our own map and decide, you know, if this is going to be more to our liking and more real. But yeah, generally, I like what Barbara channels.
Yeah. Is there anything you can tell us about them specifically? Like
well,
the actual Seven Sisters?
So, I mean, the Seven Sisters is what the Lakota called the Pleiades. And it's because there are 7 stars in that constellation that are most visible. But there are many more stars than that in that constellation. And of course, each of those stars has planets around it, etc. But definitely the Pleiades, the Sirians, and Orion, and a few others, they're all seeded into the consciousness of humanity through the sacred sites and the crop circles and all these very powerful mystical things. They're always connected to the stars. But again, they are wanting to empower us, Michelle, and to support us and encourage us and to believe in ourselves. They don't want to step into our reality in some way that is disempowering. So, there's so much there to study. Feel free. It's all very inspiring to my mind.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Do they have like spokespeople who, who does Barbara actually channel? Do they have spokespeople? You don't know? Okay.
No, they don't have
I was
names.
Just curious,
they don't
that's
have.
All.
But now you're reminding me. Yeah, the thing is with ETs and spirit guides and beings of light is, they will give us a name so that we have something to hang on to if that's helpful for us. But often they don't need them for themselves,
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious.
Sure.
Thank you.
But sweetheart, you're a great channel and you do great light work, and it's joy to see you again. So, just keep giving thanks. God knows I don't know everything. I'm just giving you my little 2 cents here. Ask for what you want, give thanks for it, and see what the universe brings to you. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. I love your philosophy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, dear. I tried everything else.
Oh my. Okay, well, you know what? We've got about, 6 or 7 minutes left. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe it would be a very good idea if you were to lead us in a exit prayer / meditation.
Sure.
Taking into account maybe sending some rain towards the rainforest or the highest good for our, for our planet and for ourselves and our awareness.
You bet.
Yeah.
Glad to do it. Thanks for having me, Karen. Thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate it. You're welcome.
You again, Lou.
Pleasure.
And everyone, if you're interested in Lou's book, I've put it in the description. It's on Amazon. It's now available on Amazon. And also Lou's website is loumartin.org. Did I say that correct?
Yes, you did.
And he's available for sessions and children's parties.
Bar mitzvahs, all the above.
And he's also doing online workshops now.
Yeah, I have one tomorrow night. Thank you for saying that, hon. I have one tomorrow night at 7:30 Ireland time.
Okay, and what is that one going to be on?
Well, it's just Q&A. Basically, it's just hanging out and answering people's questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they can find you in your Facebook group called
Awakened Spirits Network.
Awakened Spirits Network. Okay, perfect.
Right, which could be the name of a new channel that Karen and I are going to do on YouTube. Stay tuned. Quite possibly so.
Yeah.
Okay, honey, thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Yes. So go ahead, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Right. God bless you, dear friends. Here we go one more time. Take a deep breath. Dear friends, we ask you to put your hands to your hearts and just hear the message that you're seeking for in your life, in between all the words, all the ideas, all the energies here. Take a breath into that. And you might say to yourself, silently or out loud, I am a clear and open channel for my higher self, soul, and spirit, for the angels, beings of light, and all those that wish to express higher vision for humanity. I'm open and available for that. I give thanks for that. I let it be, and so it is. Take a breath. So, dear friends, let's just turn your hands out to the world and bring the love and light of all that is through you and let it pour forth into your life. Healing those places that need and want healing right here and now today. Letting go of the struggles, the doubts, the worries. Dear friends, loving and healing the pain, the fear, the doubts, and giving yourself permission to offer them up. Higher self, Holy Spirit, I give you my life to use as you see fit this very day to inspire, to empower, and to uplift me and humanity. And I'm grateful and thankful for this opportunity. Take a breath into that. And then, dear friends, yes, to your beautiful Amazon rainforest and all the forests of the world, sending your gratitude to Mother Earth for her perfect harmony and balance, a master teacher of harmony and balance, Mother Earth, who is grateful and thankful for your conscious attention to honor the gift of life for all of her creatures, for the minerals, the plants, the animals throughout this powerful, beautiful world, and for humanity living in peace and harmony with Mother Earth and with all of life. Take a deep breath. And if there is any change I need to make in my life personally, or any opportunity I can call forth to me personally, to be an agent of change, of awakening and healing for humanity with Mother Earth, I step forward and I say, thank you, Mother Earth, for this blessing, for this moment, for this gift. We give thanks, we let it be, and so it is. Take a deep breath. Dear friends, all is truly well for you. You are a powerful spiritual being. We say once again, in a time of tremendous awakening, healing, and growth. Face your fears, feel your feelings, find your freedom. What does that mean? Dear friends, it means everything that comes into your experience has been called forth by you at some level of consciousness. You can be small and play the victim and struggle, or you can be tall and play the adult and be free. We are here to support whatever choice you make and to bring you more of what you ask for, what you believe in, and what you are open to receive. It is our prayer for you and for humanity that you ask for, believe in, and be open to receive the very best that life and spirit can offer you. There are no limits except those that you insist upon. Crisis for a planet, for an individual, is a calling for something new. You've heard that prayer here in the prayer of the new moon. I begin again. Dear friends, we couldn't put it better ourselves. Begin again every day with an open heart and let life love you and let life honor you and love and honor yourself and those in your life, dear friends. It is a gift. It is a powerful time of awakening. You're ready more than you know. We love you so. Be at peace. All is truly well. Peace and blessings. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Lou.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Much love to everyone, and we will see you next week. Be sure to check out Lou's book, and all the information is there. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
I don't know if I can stop. I can't stop it. I think I'm going to have to go out and come back. So.
Adios.
You'll have to do that.
Oh, it switched. Oh, it did. I got it.
What can't you stop? You can't stop the feeling?
Okay, she's got it now.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. No, I can't stop it. I'm going to have to log out.
Log in.
So I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to have to shut my whole computer down, I think. So.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See. We'll see.
All right. Bye-bye.
Ending the stream, I think. I'm not sure. We have to force quit. Force quitting.
Rage quit.
Okay, here we go. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
YouTube land. Okay. Forcing quit. Jim will be back next week. Bye.
Ask me when you want to learn how to move things. I'll help.
All right.
Rose. Yes, you did go. Hey, Steve.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, David?
Oh, I've been getting better. It's a work in progress.
Hey, let me test something on you, David, since you're there. See if I can remotely send you energy, because that's Don's telling me that I can do this, and I've been trying to practice, but I go around my hospital job putting energy in lots of people. Let me see if I can throw this to you.
How,
Ready?
like energy healing?
Yeah,
Yep.
Reiki pretty much, but
Gonna cloak
apparently,
you.
like remote healing is what I'm trying to figure out if I got down or not.
Well, what you do is you think about it and you bring it through the third eye, like
Right.
your intention, you vision wherever you imagine the light to be, you bring it in the body, and you can bring it in through the crown, and then you can push it out, bring it into the heart, and bring it out the hands, or you can push it out the third eye and visualize a stream of light going out.
But first thing you guys got to do is be grounded.
Yes.
Because you're grounding into the field, and when
Yes.
you're going to create a circuit, is what you're doing.
All right, David, you ready, man? I'm gonna try to throw this at you, man. I got a ball in my hand. I can feel it. There we go. I'm a hands guy, so that's how I do it.
Do it. Send it to Don. I'm dealing with too much right now.
Oh, okay. You can't receive it right now?
Yeah, I'm not in
Just
space.
so you guys know, this
Okay.
is being carried on YouTube right now. This
Is it?
live.
That's okay. We love everybody.
That's fine. Everyone thinks I'm nuts already, so I don't really have anything to lose. Don, you want to give this a good old try on the live?
Okay, what do you want to do?
I want to try to send you energy, see if you can feel tingling or heat or anything like that, like people do when I'm standing in front of them. All right, Don Parkinson. I got you in my crosshairs, if you will.
Go ahead.
Lighten you up like a Christmas tree.
Feel it tingling on my forehead.
Awesome. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, I'm just imagining white light all over you, my friend.
I can feel the warmth as well.